Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I thought today we could talk about the State of the Union. The State of the Union is an address by the President of the United States to the Congress of the United States. This will be completely non-political. We're just talking about the basics of what it is, why it is. I'll show you where everybody sits, hopefully, if I can make that work. I'm not an expert in government or history, but I spent some time Googling it this morning, and I have a book we can look in. So hopefully it'll just be relaxing and maybe a little bit educational. And if you think anything doesn't sound quite right or you want to give some more information, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. But let's keep it non-political. We're not here for that. Go to other places for that. So I just wanted to start with this thing I just printed up because this is Article 2, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. And it says, "He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the state of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient." So that is in the Constitution, that the President should give a state of the Union from time to time. And that seems to be, hold on, I'm grabbing something. That seems to be the case, that there isn't a set date for it exactly. I mean, from what, I'll bring out my precedents here. We'll look at these for a second. From what I could see, it's generally January through March is usually when the State of the Union happens. And the House and the Senate pass a resolution for a date and time. And then they send a formal invitation, the Speaker of the House does, to the President to come to their chambers and speak. And it's held where the House of Representatives meets within the Capitol building. And I'll show you, I actually have some props that I'm hoping work. So we'll do that in a minute. But just historically, the first president to ever, before it was even called a State of the Union, George Washington in 1790 had Congress get together, and he spoke to them directly in what he called an annual message to Congress. And he felt that was important because they don't really meet up. You know, they're separate most of the time. So that was a time for that. And John Adams continued that. Thomas Jefferson, our third president, felt that it looked too much like the monarchy. Apparently, in the monarchy, they have something called a speech from the throne, and he felt it appeared too much like that. So he did not do a live, in-person address. He sent a letter that had everything, and that continued all the way. It continued for hundreds of years that there was not a speech. It was just a written address until Woodrow Wilson, way down here, I believe that's right. He reestablished the speech. So then Franklin Roosevelt, our 32nd president, he is the one who called it a State of the Union address. So from here on, it's been called the State of the Union, but it's been around before that. It just didn't have that moniker. How do you like that word? All right. Oh, and there were two presidents, President William Henry Harrison and James Garfield. Neither one of them got to do a State of the Union, write it, because at that time it was written, because they died before the time to do it. So that's sad. But I think they're the only two who did not address Congress with State of Union, either in written or spoken form. Yeah, so I think that's all we need this. Oh, well, Ronald Reagan, in his State of the Union, started it by saying the State of the Union is strong. And I believe every president since then has started it, or, close to the beginning, started it with the State of the Union is, and then I think usually they've said strong. So that's interesting. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's anything else with my presidents, so we'll put that away. All right, so, well, let's get out my possible prop. I'm hoping it'll work. I haven't practiced this, guys, so are you all on the edge of your seat right now to see, can I do it? Okay. Let me get my Sharpie instead of this one. That's an erasable marker. So the way it's set up, let's see. This is a thing, top of a cooler. My son gets medicine he has to take in, so. Okay, I'm going to try to do this as best I can. I'm also not an artist. Somebody said in one of the videos that if I spent... What do you think? Will this work? Because I can't draw very well. Somebody said if I just spent another half an hour preparing, these would probably be better videos. And I hate to say it. Oh, that wasn't so good. They're probably right. All right, so basically what I'm showing you is all right, this is the seating. This is the entranceway. So we are inside of the building of the Capitol building. And within the Capitol building is where Senate meets. And we are on the House side. So this is the House quarters, I think they're called, or the House, what are they called? Does anybody know? Anyway, because their building's a lot bigger. I did a video all about the government basics, non-political. So if you're curious, that talks about the House and Congress, the Senate, and the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. But the House is the biggest branch. So they do this event within the House chambers. Okay. So right here. Oh, I just thought of something. Hold on, guys. Sorry, my stomach's growling. I got up at 5 a.m. thinking about this. Look, we're going to pull out Halo Risk again. This was in my NFL video if you are curious. It's Risk Halo Wars. But what it has is some Should we make the president Master Chief? I think so. I'll just grab a few of these guys, I think. Okay. I don't know if we'll need more than that. Oh, whoops. So I'll set this over here. Okay, so the president is right up front here. And that's, he looks a little menacing right there. So that's where he stands. And then the vice president, who is the president of the Senate, is also the vice president. And that person would be on this side of the president. The House Speaker is going to be on this side. So they're up behind. So when you're watching a broadcast of it, you'll see the president, the vice president over here, and the House Speaker is on that side. And then the House Clerk is back here, and the House Parliamentarian is back here. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay, and then actually, I will grab a few more because I just want to show you the first person. It depends. I mean, it's always been a first lady so far. The box is up here for the first lady and her guests. That one doesn't stand up. How about you? Okay. So, and the president, I think, is invited to bring 24 guests plus the first lady and maybe his family. I don't know. And then the Speaker of the House, I think, can bring something like 24 guests, and then every member who is there can bring a guest. I believe that's right. Okay, so up here is the press box. They're up above. It's like quite a bit up above, and the First Lady's up above. So if you look at an image of the Capitol building, the house, you can see this. It's up here. And then they bring in the Supreme Court, which is the judicial branch, and they sit on this side right up front. And then they have all the cabinet members, and I think all the major military. I don't know quite how to explain that, but like, you know, all the big wigs in the military are sitting up here. And then the House, when they first start at like 8:30 p.m., all the House is already in their seats. And the House members don't have to sit on one side or the other based on political party. They can mix in. And for a while, they tried to get them to do that more, and then it's gone back and forth. But, a lot of times they just kind of sit with their friends. So the House will sit down first. And then I think there's like a sergeant of arms out here, and he'll call and say, members of the Senate come in, and they walk in. I'm sorry, my stomach's growling, you guys. So then all the Senate comes in, and then they call in, I'm not sure of the exact order, but it's like the Supreme Court and the members of the cabinet and the military. They're all invited in, and they get everybody seated. And then at 9 p.m., they call in the president. I think it's like the sergeant at arms calls for the president. And then the president comes in and shakes everybody's hands. I know it's the House Sergeant at Arms. I actually took a note. He says, "Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States." And then the president comes down, and it takes a while because they shake hands and they take selfies and, all the things presidents do. And then they get up here and start. And this is called the, actually there's a different name. Hold on. There are things that I think I don't need to put the rostrum. what the speaker's podium is called is the rostrum. And then this upper part where they're sitting, that's the dais. Dais. I think that's right. You'll hear them say that when you listen to a broadcast. All right. So then as soon as the president gets up there are two envelopes on his desk that have the speech he's about to give. And so he hands those, an envelope to the speaker and an envelope to the vice president, the president of the Senate. The vice president is also the president of the Senate, just so that you know that. That's why these two are up there. They're the House and the Senate. And then he starts his speech. And it's always, political. One side stands up and claps and the other doesn't. And they're up and down and up and down and up and down. So that's just the way it's been forever. Just so you know, it's nothing new. Okay, so that is the setup, I believe. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about that. Usually the speech, it's about the State of the Union, about the budget, the economy, any news or agendas for the future, the progresses that have been made, achievements, and they try to call out things that they've worked together on so they can all get up at once, which they should do more of, in my opinion. So, yeah, just sort of status update for the country. I know one interesting thing. So they used to have one cabinet member, but I think since 2001 they have a group of cabinet members who stay behind, and they actually put them, as far as I know, they put them in some kind of safe environment in case there's some kind of, terrible thing that happens, and they're called designated survivor. And the group of them is called a rump, which is like a rump in meat cuttings is like the remnant. So it's like the remnant government. They call the rump government. If they had to have it, they have survivors who are not at this event. So that's kind of interesting. All right, well, I think that actually worked not too bad. I wanted to make sure I had 2 levels. That's why I wanted this. It did okay. Is there anything I'm forgetting to tell you? I thought we could look it up in our book here. I'm sure it's in here. The State of the Union. This is my Dictionary of Cultural Literacy, which I love. State of the Union Address, page 341. Yeah, the president can bring, I think, 24 guests. I mean, I'm sure that could be changed. I don't know. Wait, what page did I say? Oh, shoot. 40? Was it 41? I was thinking about. And the speaker can bring 24 guests. And then, did I say the Supreme Court comes in? Yeah, I did. Okay. The Supreme Court, military leaders, they all have reserved seats. I know one thing I was going to say about that designated survivor. All 3 branches of government, the legislative branch, the executive, and the judicial, which, like I said, I have another video if you're curious, are under one roof at one time. And this is, as far as I know, the only time it happens is during the State of the Union, where they all are, there at once. So that's kind of interesting. State of the Union Address. An annual message delivered to Congress by the President of the United States in which he describes the condition of the country and outlines the nation's most serious problems and proposes his annual program of legislation. The name of the address comes from a provision in the Constitution that the President shall from time to time give to Congress information of the state of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. Yep. Okay. Oh, look, they have Speaker of the House. The presiding officer of the United States House of Representatives, the Speaker, a member of the House, is elected by majority party caucus. In addition to being chief spokesman for the majority party, the Speaker runs the proceedings of the House debate and voting, appoints committee members, refers bills to committees for research and development, and has an influential voice in all stages of a bill's consideration. One of the most visible and influential officials of the federal government, the Speaker is second in line after the Vice President in succession to the presidency. So there you go. I wonder if they have the Capitol building, like a picture of it in here. Probably not. They don't really have too many pictures. What did I forget to say anything about 4:30? I forget to say anything about this. I don't know. I don't think so. Nope, no pictures. All right. Well, I guess I can't think anything else. So yeah, the Supreme Court's here. The press has a box here. The president's up front with the vice president and the Speaker of the House. And the military and the first lady or first gentleman if there's a female president. And their guests. Who's over here? I wonder. It must be more press. I don't really know. Because there is like this whole raised area around the outside. And the doorway's here, and they walk in this way. Well, all right. I hope you enjoyed that. I can't think anything else.